Hey guys, my name is Tommy and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about my favorite kind of character, the Gestalt character, how to make it, some fun combinations, and why I feel it brings a level of fun to tabletop RPGs that you don't often see with regular characters. For this video we're going to be talking strictly the Pathfinder RPG, though I don't see any reason why in whatever game you're playing you can't make some kind of Gestalt character. So for those of us who don't know, a Gestalt character is a character that takes two classes at first level, and as he levels up, he gets all of the special features of both classes while taking the better of the hit dice, saves, base attack progression, and skill ranks per level that whichever parent class would provide. So, for example, in Pathfinder, say I want to make a character that has a lot of hit points and is really good in melee, but can also, out of combat, serve as a party face, have utility spells, lots of skills for skill challenges and stuff. So I decide I'm gonna make a barbarian bard. So I would take the barbarian's better d12 hit dice, his better full base attack progression, and his better fortitude save, and I would take the bard's better skill ranks per level and his better reflex save, his better will save, while retaining both barbarian skills and bard skills as class skills, and getting my rage powers, bardic performance, spells, things of that nature, as I would get them if I was playing just a basic bard or basic barbarian. This can make for a lot of fun, different classes you don't always see, but it can also make for some extra paperwork. And for parties where you have a player or two who doesn't really want to have the extra time spent flipping through books, I often recommend letting that player play a character with a template on them, like say a half celestial fighter, a half dragon bard, or let them break out a monster race like an ogre or a centaur. Pathfinder has stats for these things, and oftentimes they don't get play because they're in the 20 plus RP range, considered too powerful for a normal game. This can be a great time to bring them out. One thing I really like about Gestalt characters is that in a party where you have 2, 3, 4 players, you can get a certain amount of utility out of your character that you don't often see in small parties, especially if you're running through an adventure path or a pre-published module, something like that, where certain problems demand certain solutions. A Gestalt character can often have more answers in situations like this. For example, let's say that you're playing an AP, or you as the GM really like traps, but nobody wants to play a rogue. They'd sooner play a class that's more skill check wise in terms of like social checks, or somebody who'd sooner just blast their way through their problems. In a Gestalt campaign, we can have the party fighter, the party tank, who also has rogue levels or alchemist levels, investigator levels. A class that has disable device as a class skill can find these magical traps and solve them without just, I attack the door, bang, dead. By that same token, it's not always the case that somebody's gonna belly up and play the healer in your group. So I find in a Gestalt game, and I've played personally a Gestalt Blood Rage or Druid, who all of his Druid spells are set for cure spells, restoration, at later levels, resurrection, well, reincarnation. I'm a Druid, but you get the idea. So I have the ability to fight and be on the front line, but after combat, if someone died or if negative levels got thrown around, things of that nature, I can help handle these things. Another thing that Gestalt characters can really bring to the party is a certain level of role-playing and character depth that you don't see in a character who has one class. This is a wonderful thing for GMs who need a little more. GMs that like to build around their players, they get more information and they get to make Gestalt characters too. This way you can have the like high sorcerer of the magical realm, who also, if you mess with him, he's gonna pull out this great sword and chop your head off with his barbarian levels, his fighter levels, his what have you. It's all well and good for your player to come to the table with a barbarian who's crawled out of some tribe in some frozen poop hole somewhere, that has like the drive to become strong and go back and prove his worth to the tribe. But the Gestalt character has to explain that second class too. So that barbarian might also have, say, rogue levels. Well, how'd you learn to pick this lock? How did you learn to hit somebody where they're more vulnerable for extra damage, things of that nature. It makes for more in-depth, interesting characters. And also, it makes for a crap ton of character combinations that you don't see if you just have one class. As of this recording, the top 3 classes with the most archetype support from Paizo before any third-party content are the Druid at 59, the Fighter, who has 54, I believe, and the Bard at 51. I'm not a math genius, but it doesn't take one to realize that from those 3 classes alone, there's a crap load of combinations that ensure that every time you come to the table with a Gestalt character, you are guaranteed, unless you're just a boring player, to see something new every time. So, story time. I've played a lot of Gestalt campaigns and I've GM'd for just as many, and sometimes it can be hard to come up with a decent character concept or something that's new and fresh. So I want to share 3 characters that I've made that were a whole lot of fun and I would encourage other people to try. Currently, I'm playing a Gestalt Monk and Rogue archetype Scout. The Scout archetype, when they charge, they automatically get sneak attack damage, and I'm playing a race that has Pounce. So I charge, have 7-8 attacks, throw all my sneak attack damage down, and I tell my wife how much I've done. I killed another guy, oops. I also, in a older game, I've played a Gestalt, as I said before, a Blood Rage or Druid, who the GM ruled that I could wild shape into a huge air elemental, but retain my arms to use a double weapon and just literally wild shape for buffs, Blood Rage for buffs, cast Druid spells, well I guess before the Blood Rage because that is cheating, cast Druid spells for more buffs, and just spin through the competition with this big sword. If I can't hit you, I'll pick you up in the vortex, fly up really high, drop you, whoops, dead. And then out of combat have cure spells, have restoration, have ways to remove poison, bring back fallen party members, things of that nature to keep us unstoppable as we move forward. But I think the one I've had the most fun with was a Gestalt Titan Mauler Barbarian and Polearm Master Fighter, who at the end of the day, his threat range I often found was the entire board if I'm standing in the right place using the combat patrol feat with a reach weapon, being really big size category and increasing my reach. Towards the end of that campaign, enemies couldn't blink without me running up to them, slapping them with my reach weapon, and then full attacking on my turn. This often led to a lot of ire, and if you have players that don't like the spotlight being removed from them, don't play that archetype, because in combat, you do, hold on, that provokes, I'm gonna move over here, attack, and then this guy casts, that provokes, move over, attack. I'm gonna use my bow. That provokes, run over, hit him. And then it's my turn. I'm full attacking with, I think I was on a Bardiche, was the weapon I was using, and they're just dead. This is a really, really strong Gestalt archetype to play in terms of action economy. You're gonna get a lot more attacks than they are, and you're often interrupting their own attacks. You get more than they do, you're doing more damage than they are, they die, you don't. We're great. So that's all I have to say about Gestalt characters. Do you guys have anything to add? In the comments below, leave any Gestalt characters you played, suggestions you might have, reasons to or to not play a Gestalt character, and we'll keep the conversation going. Make sure to like and subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you around.